Hello, my name's Miss Reynolds and I'm going to talk to you about online scams, awareness and prevention. Okay, so they're all about us all around us all the time, aren't they? People trying to hack into our emails, people making phone calls, people trying to entice you to click on links on websites, people chatting and pretending to be people on social media to try and get your data. It's all around us, and it can be quite scary, can't it? But and it becomes more scary actually the more you get into the world of work and start earning some money. Because especially early days, that money means a lot to you, and your own financial security is part of your way of life. So, rather than be scared, it's probably a good idea to become aware of what's out there and try and prevent as much as you can. Put some prevention techniques in place so that you look after both your financial security, but also your identity and your data. So some of the types of scams are phishing, PH, engaging in conversation with people on social media or on the phone, email scams, so sent various things on email that kind of threaten you or push you into divulging some of your details, and also data breaches. So I'm going to outline some of these areas in this talk. All of these, actually, I've been personally have affected me, so I'm going to bring in some of my own stories into this as well. So phishing, a common trick scammers use is to send you a fake email pretending to be from your bank or another organisation, or it could be a text as well. And the text, maybe has a link in it. You click on the link and it looks like it's a trusted organisation. And this happened to me earlier last year. I got sent a text from Royal Mail, and it said you've got a package that's about to be delivered, but there wasn't enough postage on it, so can you pay something like £1.20 or something? So I thought, well, £1.20, that's okay. I do order a lot of things online, as a lot of us do now, particularly with the pandemic, but even before the pandemic, I was ordering a lot of things online. So it's not unusual for me to receive packages. And that's what they kind of go with. And this poster, in fact, when I went to collect a package from the post office over Christmas, this poster was up, and it's a well-known scam to receive a text, and then you click on the link and it looks all like, all the Royal Mail logo, and it was asking me for my name, my address. I was thinking, okay, and my phone number, I submitted that, and then the next screen said, what's your bank details, what's your sort code, what's your account number, and so on. And at that point, luckily, I went, hang on a minute, well, why do they need that? Well, of course, they needed it so I could pay this £1.20. But then I thought, hang on a minute, if they sent me a text, why do they need my phone number? Sure, they've already got my phone number and my name. So then I thought, oh, this is so dodgy. And actually, even just to give them my name, my email address, my address and my phone number is enough for them to actually go about looking online for more details about me. And I had quite a lot of attempts at logging into different accounts that I had and my Gmail and so on. So it was quite scary, actually. And you also think, well, what can people do with your bank account details? Because they can't actually get into my bank because I've got different passwords on that. But what they can do is sign up for loans. So they can sign up for finance or loans with all that information, put some fake signature on it, and off they go. And then before you know it, you've got a letter through the post saying you owe this amount of money and set up the repayments. So, it is quite, the problem with it is it all looks very, it looks like you can trust it because of the way that the website is set up. So this happens on by people sending emails. Maybe something that looks like it's from your bank, but it's not from your bank. Anyway, I'll come on to that in a moment. Okay, so who are you really talking to? So this can be, you might be chatting to somebody on Snapchat or on Instagram or on WhatsApp, especially if you're part of a group and people can get your phone number from that group in WhatsApp. And you might start chatting to them and build up quite a friendship or a relationship. And then you might find them, asking more information about you. And we don't necessarily know who they are. And sometimes, and for the majority, these people are who they say they are. Quite a big scam of usually older people actually is on dating websites where, people are looking to make connections because they're lonely, and they start chatting to someone and they start, really giving them the emotional security that they need. And then they will start maybe asking for money, and so on. There's lots, there's quite a few TV documentaries on this at the moment. But it's all about being aware that the person you are talking to is not necessarily who they say they are, and it's looking out for, ways they use language, things that turn out to be untruths. And, maybe it's worth asking them questions and asking them proof, before you do any financial outlay. But, it is quite a big thing, particularly for older people. For younger people, it could be more about asking for kind of like information about your identity. And identity theft is quite a big thing. And identity theft can be used then to apply for passports and apply for loans, as I've said before. So it's worth being aware of, that whole, do we know who we're talking to? Where my experience of this was being phoned up, and it was Virgin. I get my broadband and TV via Virgin, and they're saying, "Oh, you've got some illegal traffic on your internet." And I thought, "Oh, right, okay, maybe my daughter's downloading films or something." And I went up and I spoke to her, and she looked at it and she said, "Well, I might have done." And I carried on talking to them. I said, "All you need to do is get your laptop out, and we're going to be able to talk you through how to fix this." And we carried on talking, and I thought, this sounds a bit odd, going to your laptop anyway. And then I thought, is this Virgin? And what I did was I just said, and what's my name? Because I thought, well, if it is Virgin, they know I've got an account. They all know my name. And as soon as I asked for my name, they put the phone down. So I knew. And that's a well-known scam as well. Basically what they do is they say, go onto this website on your laptop, click on this link. And of course, what that does is downloads a virus onto your laptop and takes control of your laptop. And then they can do, log keyboard strokes and log your passwords for when you log into different websites. So that is another scam that I've experienced and lots of other people. Email scams, similar to the phishing, it looks like your bank has written to you. I help do communications for an artists organisation, and I look at I get the emails for that, and we're on Companies House, so they get the email address from that. And we quite often get what appears to be the bank emailing you, and it says you need to click on this link to log into your account to sort this issue out. And often it sounds like quite a worrying issue. And we got one actually, and it said Santander, and it looked like the email address was from Santander. And then I texted my friend saying, "Oh, look, we've got this email from Santander," and he said, well, yeah, but actually our bank's HSBC. So I was like, right, okay. So it was definitely an email scam. And what you can do with that is if you actually click the name of the email that the email's from, although the name appears to be Santander, when you click the email, where the name is, it then takes you to what the actual email address is. And then that looks often quite dodgy, and it's obviously not from the bank or whatever organisation. Okay. If it's going to take you to a website, your best bet is, trusted websites tend to be HTTPS, not HTTP anymore. So that's quite a little tip there. And once the page is loaded, make sure that the website address actually says what it normally does for your bank or for whatever organisation it is. Because what they can do is they can create a website that looks very, very similar to what you're used to seeing, but the web address is slightly wrong, because that's what they've registered it under. Data breaches. Now, this is not necessarily in your control, okay? And sometimes hackers will hack into very big organisations like eBay here and PlayStation and TK Maxx, and I'm kind of listing those because they're the ones that I might have my data on. I had an account with MyFitnessPal, and I got a text or an email saying that had been hacked, and my email address and the password that I used with that for that account had been compromised. Now, the problem with that is that I quite often use the same password to sign up to, all the myriad of accounts, that we tend to sign up for shopping or for gaming or whatever. So the problem there was that they could then log into all my accounts using, with my email address and this password that I use. So I quickly then had to go to all of my different accounts like eBay and PayPal and all that kind of thing, and change my email address, change my password that was associated with that. Now, if I had done what I do now, I would be okay, because it's a good idea to have a different password for each account that you set up, and particularly obviously for things like your bank, like PayPal, like eBay, like Amazon. To have different different passwords for those accounts is useful, because obviously there's money associated with them. There are still websites that I'm signed up to with that old password, but there's nothing untoward that can happen with that, so I kind of leave it. But I probably shouldn't leave it, because then somebody could log in and change the password and then use my account, and I wouldn't be able to get into it. So the advice there is definitely to try and use different passwords, and write them down in a notebook that you keep in a drawer. I actually write them down on my notes on my phone, but I don't write them down out in full. I kind of have a whole range of passwords with a range of different numbers, but I put dots in between, so I know that H.6. $, I know what the ... dots are. So that if somebody did manage to get into my phone and looked at that particular set of notes, it would still be quite difficult for them to find out the exact password for each of those accounts. So there's a little tip there. But these data breaches are happening all the time. So the prevention there is to have different passwords. So just to kind of summarise, make sure that any websites that you use are secure. Reliable websites start with HTTPS. Once the page is loaded, make sure the website address you've entered hasn't changed to a slightly different spelling or a slightly different address. Use safe and secure Wi-Fi connections. Keep your virus protection software up to date, because that's the other way people will try and get in and take over your laptop to log your keystrokes. And make sure all accounts have a strong password, and don't use the same password for multiple accounts, and change them regularly. So good luck out there, and try not to be scared about it all, but just be aware that these things can happen, and and do what you can to look after your financial and data security. Okay, thank you very much.